prizes on the Kingdom of Las Asimas, a realm known for its Tournament of Champions, which has just crowned its first ever Champion of Champions. Theodora Bloodblossom reigns supreme for the next year. But this is a new year and a new season. And that means, while we have one returning hero, we do also have several new heroes. Everyone, though, who is present, please make me a straight up and down D20 roll. I like to start the math rocks real early.
14.
All right.
11.
8.
Great. So, a certain water elf swashbuckler, being familiar with the Roguelike Rumbles, having tried his hand at the tournament before, you know what you're about. You know, whereabouts are you from again?
I hail from a lovely kingdom at the bottom of the sea, where my ships are currently docked once again.
They're docked dockside or at the bottom of the sea?
At the bottom of the sea, where they're nice and safe and accessible to me.
Very good. So, like Namor, you arise from the watery bed and come to claim your title. You're gonna be a champion this time. You make it first to the tavern. You gonna chill out at the bar, or are you just gonna take a seat at one of the tables and wait for the other heroes to arrive?
I'm gonna chill out at the bar. I might have a little glass of wine to wet the palate before we begin.
Well, the friendly blue-haired bartender happily pours you a glass of their finest house red. lets you await the arrival of the other two. Maku, what is your hero's name?
My name is Gino Caranino.
Wonderful. Where do you hail from?
I hail from this mystical place called the tri-state area.
Brilliant. So an 11, not so good. Your road here, a little tricky. You're out of your element. You had a hard time getting here. You're about 15 minutes late for when you were supposed to arrive, but it's not that bad. I mean, traffic on the ye old highway of hell, 405th. Prince Bug has still not worked out all of the kinks there. Are you a fan of the Roguelike Rumbles? Have you ever seen one before, or do you just know it by reputation?
Yeah, I'm a fan of them, and I've come to claim my prize. So, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Very good. So you roll up 15 minutes late with Starbucks or ye olde, ethereal dollars. Haven't thought about what those are called in Las Asimas yet. You've got your coffee, you roll in, and there is a water elf sitting at the bar with a glass of wine and a ruffled piratical type shirt. Rafael, would you like to introduce yourself as the stranger arrives?
Good afternoon, good friend, and cheers to you.
Hello, water boy. Hey, let me get a beer in here. God, I'm thirsty.
Well, you seem to have the right idea about these things.
The friendly elf bartender, stroking a wispy wisp of her blue hair out of her face, happily pours you
lager. Just give me a lager.
Pale ale. I don't know. Do you like it stout or?
Nah, just give me a lager. Come on. What we got? Modelo in here? Come on.
Sure. Again, Kingdom of Las Asimas, non-trademarked. I'm disappointed that none of you are having gin or whiskey, as we previously discussed, but that's fine. You can have your lager. And then latest of all, and there's a nervous little halfling that seems to keep poking her head in the bar and seeing that there's only two of you, and she kind of darts back away, and she's just anxiously waiting, and half hour rolls past, 45 minutes, an hour passed. Finally, somebody else arrives.
I've never left home, so this was really hard to find. Birch comes in.
Birch,
a satyr druid.
Marvelous. And whereabouts were you coming from?
From a little place in Los Asimas called Lowland Lee, if that's how it's pronounced. I come from a farm, and I've never left, but I'm leaving today.
Well, then, I guess the question is, being from Lowland Lee, would you be aware that the current reigning champion of champions is from your hometown?
That's why I've come.
Of course.
I have to stay in the tradition of my hometown.
Hometown heroes all the way. Reigning champion, the paladin of Gaia herself, Theodora, was the first champion and now the champion of champions.
I have a poster of her on my wall.
Really is. So as you arrive, the bartender looks up and says, "Hey, I can probably get you a drink, but I think Salita's gonna want you in the office pretty quickly since I think you're late."
Yep. Sorry. Coming. And just goes on through. Just takes whatever is given. I do love
I'll hand you at
person.
least a glass of water because she is always good for that. Anytime I'm at the bar, it's the first thing I get. So this little halfling woman comes scurrying in from a back office corner over by the kitchens. She's got a little messy, swept bun, and she pokes in and goes, "Oh, good, finally you're here. Okay, very good. Heroes, come into the office. We've got to do the paperwork and all the other good stuff. Come on in."
I must say it's a pleasure to see you again.
"Oh, Edwardo, happy to have you back. You know, I was rooting for you, and I loved, the haunting thing you did there was very good."
Well, Theodora defeated me and has defeated many others since, so I hardly think there can be shame in that.
The blood of many heroes is soaking her axe. But anyway, we're so proud of her. Come on in. So welcome, and she ushers you into kind of a messy, unkempt office. There's stacks of paper everywhere, and there is actually a poster of Theodora on her wall as well, listing champion of champions. But you're ushered in. There's 3 chairs. If you want to play the psychoanalysis game, you can decide on which chair you would be. 2 close to the walls, 2 in the center, more directly facing the desk.
Ooh. I think Birch goes up and sits to the left of one of the 2 center chairs on the floor. Intelligence of 7, very low.
Great. So you're blocking the doorway. Love it. Just come in and sit right down on the floor. Fantastic. That would be the only space to the left of any chairs.
Listen, I said it and I'm committing.
I love it. So stepping over Birch, the other 2 of you.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, I was gonna sit next to the door closest to the exit, but okay. Yeah, I just kind of pull up a chair nearest to the exit, just in case I have to leave.
Great.
You've got another appointment coming.
Well, you never know what could be coming.
I would like to vault over the others in as stylistic a manner as I possibly can, and then take 2 chairs, one in the back, and then kick my feet up on the one before it. So I'm sitting at an angle like that.
Fantastic. Could you please make me an acrobatics roll, though?
Absolutely.
You don't get away with sweet flips in a tiny office and no cost.
Waterboy thinks he's a gymnast.
So I rolled a 13, but I get a +5 to acrobatics, so that is 18.
It's just shy of spectacular. It's impressive because, again, a crowded office, and you send some papers flying just with the sheer motion. It's a gust of wind off your feet. Salita also applauds. She loves it. It's like, oh my gosh, Edwardo! Showing off already. I love it. Well, welcome. So heroes. As you are aware, as we went over when we contacted you for this event, this is for gold and glory. Whoever wins, of course, will get a champion's pin of your own. You'll be invited back for the tournament of champions at the end of this next season, and of course, you'll be paid and reputation galore. Birch, you can talk to Theodora all about it. She knows the benefits. But this is a fight to the death. So, of course, all deaths in the ring are non-permanent. We have our finest clerics and paladins on hand to resurrect anyone in need at the end, and there should be 3 of you in need at the end. It is a contractual obligation that there must be 3 dead bodies before the rumble can conclude. But that's all here, this paperwork, and she slides contracts over to all of you and says, you just go ahead and sign, and she goes through all of the rules and regulations and clues you into the fantastical recording device up in the corner. She says your every movement here will be recorded here and in the training room downstairs, and of course in the tournament, and that goes out to, the magical wide web, and everyone can watch it on their sending stones, and But yeah, so you can go ahead, you can sign paperwork, and then she will usher you all back out of the office. down a winding set of stairs. Alongside the bar, there's kind of a hidden, tucked away door. But Edwardo, having been here before, you know. The other two of you, well, I guess Birch is a hard no. You've never left home. But I'm so sorry. Maku, remind me your character name?
Oh, Gino, yeah.
Gino, would you have ever attended a Rumble in person, or you think you've only watched them on the magical device of your home?
I've seen them on the magical device, and I thought, hey, if they can do that, I can do that too. So that's why I'm here.
Brilliant. Well, then you'd be unfamiliar with this doorway as well, but Salita leads you down a long spiraling staircase, and it curves out, but more importantly, it goes down and deep. And she explains as she goes, well, of course, this would lead to the arena, but we're not going to go that far. We're just going to go right here into the training room and do a little display of skills, just so everyone can know what everybody else is about. And our fourth champion, unfortunately, could not make it today. Well, at least not at this hour. She's going to be even a little later than you were, Birch. But don't worry. We'll make sure the recording of her display of skill is available to the three of you, so you can catch up on what you missed, and likewise, she'll get to see what you do. But she leads you into a side room. It's just kind of a white, barren, like gym type setting, like, you know, mats on the floor and rusty weapons hanging across the walls. But the main event, the feature of this room, is dead center, about 60 feet from the door, is a little straw fellow, just arms straight out, little smile on a bag of hay, jaunty little straw man, just waiting there. And Salita says, whoever would like to go first, I don't know, Edwardo, since you've done this before, if you want to go first, or if I think you were last time, so if you want to wait, that's fine too, but whoever would like first, please attack the straw man.
I will gladly go first, and thank you for offering.
Well, experience. How would you like to attack?
I having learned my lesson last time, I'm going to do a large, beautiful pirouette, and then after bringing my rapier down and across for a big old slash.
Beautiful. Please roll to attack the straw man.
I rolled an 8. Oh, but I get +5 to hit, so 13. Okay,
so you spend more of your energy on the flourish of the strike than the strike itself. So it's not like you got totally dead center where you were going for. You hit more of like the arm of the straw man, but that's great because there's less resistance there, no padded body. How much damage do you do to his arm?
I mean, I guess it depends on whether I'm getting a sneak attack, but
I mean, I can't really see you coming, so you can count that if you want.
Okay, so for straight damage, I rolled a 2 and I get +2. And I guess I will take that sneak as well. And that adds another 8. So that is 12 damage.
That's enough to slice the little stick right off, and it goes flying, and it's kind of impressive, but given what you were actually trying to do, it's not as impressive as what you were going for.
I still do a huge flourishing bow and walk away very proudly.
Your flourishing bow sends some of the little hay bits flying. Spectacular. Well, it's not quite down yet. Did you want to do something else?
With that, I casually over my back shoulder shoot my light crossbow.
Ooh. Ranged weaponry is good.
That is 17 plus 5, so I'm assuming a 23 hits.
Yeah, spectacular. Straight to the head. How much damage do you do? We'll see if you send his little head flying.
Rolled an 8 plus 2 for 10, and then I'm giving myself the sneak.
As well.
Nice.
Which gives me another 12, so 24.
Spectacular. Yeah, his little hay head just blows completely apart. And Salita just, oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so lovely to have you back. Master of the
blow
sword.
her a kiss.
Stop at you. Brilliant. Well done, Edwardo. Okay. Gino, Birch, who wants to go next?
I'll go next. You got any more of those things in here?
Oh, Oh, of course. She pulls a little wand right out of her bun and just, with a little flourish, suddenly his head reappears, his arm, little pole relocates, and you have a happy, jaunty little straw man ready to go.
Perfect. So the thing is, we just do as much damage as we can to this thing?
Oh, yes. This is just a display of as much or as little skill as you'd like to let your competitors know what they'll be facing.
Oh, sure. All right. Well, that was pretty, Mr. Edwardo, but let me show you a thing or two. And I pick up my greatsword, both hands, and I'm going to slash at it.
Fantastic.
Oh, that is a 22.
That'll do. You going for a body shot? Are you going diagonal, straight up? Straight
right across the chest.
Fantastic. Roll me some damage on that.
6 plus 4, 10. And I'd like to cast, I'd like to use Divine Smite too. So that's an extra.
Ooh.
Spectacular.
10.
Paladin.
1, 4, 5. So that's 10 slashing damage and 5 radiant damage. So 15 total.
Wonderful. Who is your deity?
My deity is, my deity, let's see.
Could if you hadn't thought of this yet, might I suggest Bacchus?
Bacchus?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna
God
do that.
parties
That sounds like my
everywhere.
deity. Yeah,
Feels like a
my
Gino
God.
flavor.
that's my deity.
Perfection. Although it's kind of funny it occurred to me, also God of Satyrs. Intriguing with a satyr competitor in the room.
Little kinship to you. I don't understand.
So you do with your broadsword what Edwardo could not do with a rapier, and you just slash and destroy the top half of this hay bale. Just goes sliding to the floor. You've split the pole, his center pole, completely in twain, and there is in that moment a divine and holy light. And weirdly enough, the scent of really good wine fills the room. As you know, of course, your god. Party god Bacchus loves a good wine.
And I look at Eduardo, and that's how it's done.
Very impressive, good sir.
Yeah.
And a pleasant aromatic experience as well, which is very rare in one so brutish.
But one might call it a
What
slash.
did you say?
Fantastic. So you have destroyed the little straw man, and Selena once again takes out her little wand and casts a little spell as he reverses himself back, fully healed, pulls a jaunt, ready to go for our last and final.
Now,
Birch, it's your turn.
are you sure that we're not hurting its feelings by doing this? Because I feel a little bad.
Oh, he's a union straw man. This is what he's for.
Oh, good. All right. Very passionate about workers' rights.
Solidarity.
Right. Well, my mother always said that you're not supposed to really show your hand before you really are out to go get it. So I'll start with something small, I guess. And Birch takes his hands and rubs them together a bit and opens it, and you see a tiny little spider friend crawling across his hands. That you're so distracted by this tiny little spider in his hands that you look up and suddenly you see that the hay person is crawling with those same spiders as he casts infestation as a cantrip.
Oh no, gross.
Can a straw figure make a save?
No, there are no saves to be had.
Okay.
So, do you have a particular spider in mind, or is this like a variety?
Let's say that it's like 3 types of spiders that Birch has seen before that he thinks are really cool. So, like, let's say a brown recluse, a jumping spider, and a black widow. Just they're like crawling all around, which are like 3 of the objectively scariest spiders to see in the wild. Yes,
Just like full-on horror movie style. They just emerge from a center point and utterly coat and cover the straw figure in the middle. Roll damage away on that.
Doesn't do too much, just a cantrip, but it does do 12 points of damage. I just rolled 2 6s.
So as spiders are crawling across on a person, they'd be biting and poisoning and what have you. But on the spider, it's almost like, or on the straw figure, it's almost like they're disintegrating the fabric that was holding the hay together. So as they emerge and swarm and coat, it also just falls apart in little flakes of fabric and straw, and then your infestation begins to crawl all over the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Do those dissipate? Or they just stay?
That's a really good question. It doesn't say anything about it in the spell, but I will say that Birch says, all right, you've had your fun, come on back, and just like puts his hands on the ground to have them crawl up his arms.
Perfection. Yeah, because I see otherwise we would have to just figure out which direction they begin crawling in. But,
true.
I think they will happily come to you. And the other two of you just watch as this monstrous little parade makes its way all the way up Birch's arms.
Remind me to stay away from you.
Well, they stay in a bag. It's all right.
Selena is like awkwardly applauding, like, "Oh, that was really interesting. Very nice. Okay.
Ew.
Wow. Well, that did the trick though, and that's all we need. So yeah, you all will have a nice, well, since our other competitor is going to be late, you're going to have a little longer than usual. Long rest. We have green rooms further down the hall. I'll take each of you to. You can have the meal of your choosing. And yeah, you have time to rest and recuperate and be ready for the battle ahead. Are there any other questions?
Well, it is a pleasure to meet such noble and interesting companions. And while I do not care for spiders individually, they seem to have some sort of companionship with you, and I'm sure that is a form of comfort.
Don't worry, I've talked to every one of them, and they've all agreed that they only really go for eating when I tell them it's time.
Feel free to not tell them it's time. Wonderful to meet each and every one of you. And yeah, I think this is where we'll call it. Again, I will get a magical recording to you of your fourth competitor once they've arrived, and we look very much forward to that. But thank you. And she leads you down a little hallway, and you get green rooms as promised. And you have a nice long rest before the tournament begins.